Level up your English listening. Secrets you may not know about Michael Jackson. Welcome back to our channel. Today we're going to talk about one of the most famous people in the history of music, a man loved by millions, misunderstood by many, and remembered forever as the king of pop. This is the real story of Michael Jackson, filled with truths, struggles, and secrets you may not know. Michael Joseph Jackson was born on August 29, 1958, in a small industrial city called Gary in the state of Indiana in the United States. He was the eighth child in a large working-class African-American family. His father, Joseph Jackson, worked in a steel factory, and his mother, Catherine, loved music and played the clarinet and piano. Michael's childhood was full of music, but it was not full of peace. His father was very strict. He wanted his children to be perfect performers. The Jackson children practiced music for hours every day, and mistakes were not allowed. Later, Michael said that he loved his father but was also afraid of him. He once said in an interview, "He scared me so much that sometimes I would vomit when I saw him." That pressure, that fear, and that constant drive for perfection shaped Michael's entire life. When Michael was only 5 years old, he started singing with his brothers in a group called the Jackson 5. They quickly became popular. Their songs like I Want You Back, ABC, and I'll Be There were hits all around the world. Michael was the youngest member, but he was also the star. He had an amazing voice, energy, and dance moves that nobody else had. By the time he was 11, he was already famous. While most children went to school and played with friends, Michael spent his days performing, traveling, and living in hotels. The world loved him, but he missed having a normal childhood. Later, he said, "When I look at children playing, I feel jealous because I never had that." That missing piece, his lost childhood, became one of the biggest emotional wounds of his life. As he grew older, Michael wanted to become a solo artist. In 1979, he released Off the Wall, his first big solo album. It was full of hits like Don't Stop Till You Get Enough and Rock With You. The world noticed that Michael wasn't just a child star. He was a new kind of performer, one who could sing, dance, and create something magical. But then came the album that changed everything, Thriller. Released in 1982, Thriller became the best-selling album of all time. It won 8 Grammy Awards, and its music videos changed pop culture forever. The Thriller video, with zombies, dance moves, and a movie-like story, made Michael the biggest star in the world. But fame came with a price. He could no longer walk in public, go shopping, or live a normal life. Fans followed him everywhere. The media followed him even more closely, watching every change in his appearance, every move he made, and every rumor about his private life. There are things about Michael that people still don't fully understand. One of them is his skin. In the 1980s, his skin color began to change. Many thought he was trying to look white, but later it was confirmed that he suffered from a skin condition called vitiligo, which causes patches of skin to lose color. He began wearing makeup to even out the tone of his skin. Another secret: Michael had lupus, an autoimmune disease that made his skin sensitive to sunlight. He often wore hats, gloves, and masks, not just for style, but to protect himself. He once said in an interview, "I'm proud to be black. I don't bleach my skin. I have a skin disorder that destroys the pigmentation." But despite his explanation, the world continued to judge him. Michael's face also changed over the years. He admitted that he had 2 nose surgeries, but many people believed he had more. He said he only wanted to breathe better for singing, not to change his identity. However, the more his appearance changed, the more the media called him weird or fake. This constant criticism deeply hurt him. Behind the fame, Michael was a shy, gentle person who loved art, animals, and children. He was generous. He donated millions of dollars to charities around the world. He built Neverland Ranch, his private home in California, which had a zoo, a movie theater, and amusement park rides. He said he created it because he wanted to live the childhood he never had. He often invited sick children or underprivileged kids to visit, but Neverland also became the center of controversy. The same place that brought joy to many children also became the reason for rumors and accusations. Michael faced painful and very public allegations in the 1990s and 2000s. He denied them all and was later found not guilty in court. Still, those events damaged his reputation forever and caused him years of stress and depression. He once said, "Lies run sprints, but the truth runs marathons." He believed that one day the truth about him would be understood. Another little-known fact is that Michael was a perfectionist in his art. He spent hours, sometimes days, practicing every dance move until it was perfect. He invented new styles of movement. The most famous one is the moonwalk, first performed live in 1983 during the song Billie Jean. That moment became a part of world history. Michael wasn't only a dancer or singer, he was a visionary. He thought about lighting, story, costume, and emotion in every performance. He once said, "When I perform, I want to give people magic. I want them to escape the world for a moment." But fame was also lonely. Despite being surrounded by fans, Michael was often isolated. He trusted very few people. He said that people loved the king of pop, but very few loved Michael, the human being behind the fame. He loved to talk with children and artists because he said they were honest and pure. He wrote in his diary about his sadness and his dream of finding true friendship. He was also a father who adored his 3 children, Prince Paris and Blanket, now called Biggie. He wanted to protect them from the media and give them the peaceful childhood he never had. Even though his personal life was full of struggles, Michael continued to create music that inspired millions. Albums like Bad, Dangerous, and History became symbols of his creativity and resilience. Through his lyrics, he often spoke about unity, love, and saving the planet. Songs like Heal the World, Earth Song, and Man in the Mirror showed his heart and his pain. One secret many fans don't know is that Michael wrote We Are the World, a charity song that raised millions of dollars for starving children in Africa. He didn't just talk about kindness, he lived it. In his later years, Michael faced financial difficulties. Despite earning billions from his career, he also spent a lot on Neverland, on charity, on his projects, and legal battles. By the 2000s, he was under great financial pressure. That's why he planned a comeback, a world tour called This Is It. It was supposed to be his grand return to the stage, his chance to remind the world who he really was. He rehearsed for hours every day, dancing and singing just like the old days. But on June 25, 2009, everything stopped. Michael Jackson died from cardiac arrest caused by an overdose of prescription medication. He was only 50 years old. The news shocked the world. People cried in the streets. Fans around the globe gathered to sing his songs and honor his memory. Even after his death, Michael's music continued to live. His songs climbed the charts again, his concerts replayed, and millions of people remembered why they loved him. There are still many secrets about Michael's life, some beautiful, some painful. Few people know that he loved reading history books and poetry. He often read about famous inventors and leaders to get inspiration. He also secretly visited children's hospitals without announcing it to the media. He didn't want credit. He just wanted to make kids smile. Another secret: Michael used to record his thoughts late at night in a small notebook. He wrote about peace, love, and his dream of a world without racism or war. One note found after his death said, "The world can change if we care enough." Michael Jackson was not perfect. No one is. But he gave the world something rare: emotion through art. He taught us that music has no color, no borders, and no limits. Today, more than a decade after his passing, people still argue about him, still celebrate him, still imitate his dance moves, and still sing his songs. But if you look beyond the headlines, you'll find a human being who gave everything he had, and often too much. Michael once said, "If you want to know me, listen to my music. Every song is me." And maybe that's the best way to remember him, not by the rumors or the drama, but by the sound of his voice and the feeling it gave us. So next time you hear Billie Jean, Beat It, or Man in the Mirror, listen closely. Behind every beat, there's a story of a boy who dreamed big, a man who carried heavy pain, and an artist who changed the world forever. Thank you for listening to this story about Michael Jackson, the man behind the music, the secrets behind the fame, and the heart behind the legend. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who loves English learning and inspiring real-life stories. Keep learning, keep dreaming, and never stop believing in your own magic, just like Michael did.